Okay, so we have solving multi-step equations. Insert scary music here. There we go. Please don't die. Okay, so that's my first example, but at the top what I'm going to start off doing is just listing our little abbreviations of our properties, right? We have the distributive property of multiplication, yes. We have combine like terms, and then we have our 4 properties of equality, right? Addition property of equality, subtraction property of equality, multiplication property of equality, and division property of equality. We should be familiar with those. We haven't used the distributive property and combining like terms too much, but we are going to be using those today. Okay? So, again, your goal with every one of these should be get your letter by itself, right? Get your variable by itself. Now, if I look at this one, I notice first off that there are 2 A's. So part of getting A by itself is going to be getting the 2 A's together. Are they on the same side of the equal sign or different sides of the equal sign? Same side. So am I going to be using combining like terms, or am I going to use one of my properties of equality? If they are on the same side of the equal sign, I am combining like terms. I'm not moving things to other sides. So 6A plus A gives me what? 7A. I just combined like terms. Yes? What else is on the left side of the equal sign? Minus 4. And then I have equals negative 11. Once I combined those like terms, I have an equation that would have been on last night's homework, right? So what is my next step? Add 4. Why am I not going to divide by 7 first? Because 7A is not a like term with anything. I need to combine these like terms first. Now this time when I'm combining like terms, I can't use my CLT thing because I'm moving it to the other side of the equal sign. So I need to add 4 to both sides. That's my addition property of equality. Yeah? So what does that leave me with? 7A equals, what's negative 11 plus 4? Negative 7. All right, looks like I have one more step. What do I do? Divide by what? 7. That's using my division property of equality. So A is equal to, what's negative 7 divided by positive 7? There's my answer. So? Same stuff, just more steps. Okay, you try this one. I gave you an easier one. This is technically a 2-step equation. What do you need to do first? Combine like terms. They're on the same side, so what is P plus 6P? 7P equals what? 7. Gosh, this is very similar to the last one. Now, here's a question. I have a question for you. Because don't we usually do this? We cancel those out. Why don't we cancel those out? Because isn't that 7 over 7 and this is 7 over 7? But why do they just disappear here and over here they turn into a 1? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, why can I just cross the 7s out there, but over here I can't just cross them out and make them disappear? Well, yes, because P has to equal something, but what is 7 over 7? Isn't that 1? So technically, when I'm crossing something out, I have 1P. But do we write a 1 when we have 1P? That's why we cross it out there, but on the other side, it's a 1. What property was that one? Division property of equality. Okie dokie, let's get a little more difficult. You ready? So again, I'm still trying to get the letter by itself, and part of that process is getting the letter together with the other like terms. So do I have any like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign? Yes. So I'm going to start off by combining my like terms on the same side. So 12 plus 6x I'm not touching yet. But over here, x plus 8x, what does that give me? 9x. And that was my combining like terms property. Now I still need to combine like terms, but this time they're on opposite sides of the equal sign, so I have to use one of those equality properties. How do I get them? Well, first off, do I want to move the 6x or the 9x?
6x.
Why? Because I want to move the x's by themselves, right?
Oh, yes.
So I want them away from this guy. So how am I going to move the 6x? Subtract 6x from both sides. That's my subtraction property of equality that says if I subtract something from one side, I have to subtract from the other side as well. So over here I'm left with just 12, and then on the right I have 3x. What next? Divide by what?
3.
Why not 12? Because again, we're trying to get x by itself. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And what was the property there? Division property of equality. Okay? All right, let's see if I can make this a little bit more difficult for you. Here we go. Negative 112 equals negative 4 times 7 minus 3n. Can I do this like a two-step equation? Where I divided, remember when I divided by negative 4? Let's see, can I do 112 divided by 4? I can. My calculator's going crazy, but I can. Hold, please. So if I do negative 112 divided by negative 4, I actually can get rid of that, can't I?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to use distributive property. If I can avoid distributive property, it makes it go faster. So negative 112 divided by negative 4 was 28. And what do I have left on the right side? Okay, what property did I just use? Division property of equality. All right, I don't have any n's to combine. They're all together. So what do I need to get rid of? The 7. How do I get rid of the 7? Subtract 7, because 7 minus 7 is 0. That's good. Subtracting 7. What is 28 minus 7? 21. What do I have on the right side? Negative 3n. What property did I just use? ESPO. Right? All right, I think I have one more step, which is good because I'm running out of paper. What do I need to do? Divide by what? Using my depot again. So let's see. I'm going to have to write my answer over here. N equals, what's 21 divided by negative 3? Boom. Okay. Still doing okay? Because we're going to get more difficult. All right, this is the last easy one. You try this one. What's my first step? Divide by what? So that's going to cancel. 135 divided by negative 5 is negative 27. And what do I have left on the right side? 4n minus 7. What property did I just use? Depot. Okay, what do I do next? Add 7 using my APO. Yeah? What is negative 27 plus 7? Negative 20 equals 4n. And one more step. Divide by 4. And n equals negative 5. That was my depot again. And negative 5 is my answer. All right, you ready for more difficult? Negative 5v minus 8 equals 7 parentheses negative 8 plus v. Okay. So I notice a couple things about this. I see a V over here, but I see a V over here also. But I can't just move this guy because why? He's stuck in parentheses, right? Which means I have that distributive property thing. Can I just divide by 7 like I did in the other problems? Because does 5 divide by 7? No. Does 8 divide by 7? No. So I can't divide, therefore I have to use my distributive property of multiplication. So left side we're going to keep the same. Negative 5v minus 8 equals, what is 7 times negative 8? Negative 56. And 7 times v? Now I don't have parentheses, so I can get my letters together. So my next question is, do I want to move the 5v over to the right or the 7v over to the left? Does it matter? It doesn't matter as long as I get them together. I personally try to keep numbers positive just so that my life is a little bit easier. So if I wanted to keep my numbers positive, am I going to move the 5v or the 7v? Okay, how am I going to move the 5v? I'm going to add 5v to both sides using my addition property of equality. So that leaves me with negative 8 equals negative 56 plus what? 12v. Okay? So my v's are all together. Now what do I do? Add the 56 because now I got to get v all by itself. So that leaves me with 12v equals what? 48. And that was using my APO again, addition property of equality. One more step. Divide by 12. And what does v equal? 4. and that was my division property of equality. Make sure that your initials, because I'm allowing you to just use a shortened version of it, that there is a difference between your distributive property of multiplication and your division property of equality, right? Because they're almost the same except for that last letter. So? All right, you try this one. -7, parentheses, -1 plus x equals -17 minus x. You take a minute and try that one. All right, what do I have to do first? So -7 times -1 is +7. -7 times positive x is -7x. Then I have an equal sign, -17 minus x, because I haven't touched that one yet, right? That was my distributive property of multiplication. Okay, now I need to get my x's together. Which one do you want to move? Okay, how am I going to move the 7? And again, it doesn't matter if you choose to move the 7x or the plain old x over there. You're just getting to the same end in a different way. So I have 7 over here. Over here I have -17, and what's -x plus 7x? Okay. 6x, and that was using what? My addition property of equality. Yeah? Now what? Got to get x by itself, so what's my next step? Add 17. Oops. What is 7 plus 17? 24 equals 6x. That was also my addition property of equality. And then my last step, divide by 6 using my division property of equality, and I get x equals what? 4. Easy peasy? All right. You ready to get even more difficult? Are you up for the challenge? Okay, this is about as difficult as it's going to get here. You ready? Actually, number 10 is about as difficult as it gets. I know. What do you mean you did it wrong? What did you do differently than me? Because let's see, if you're able to justify each step. Right here?
Yes.
So you distributed. Where? Okay, that's totally okay, that does not equal 4.
Oh.
Right? -7 over 11? That doesn't equal 4.
Just
-7 divided by 11?
No. Plus -7.
This is a division sign right there.
No, I just did it to separate them.
Well, you divided by 11 here.
No, because that's -11, so I added 11, and then so that makes it.
But you have -11x. If you're adding 11, those aren't like terms.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So why is this one more difficult? Guys, I'm up here. Why is this one more difficult?
Because
There's 2 sets of parentheses, right? Does that really make it more difficult? No. All right, 8 times 6. What's 8 times 6? 48. What's 8 times 2x? Okay. One set of parentheses is gone. What do I do next? Take the negative 4 right here and distribute that. What's negative 4 times negative 8? Negative 32. And negative 4 times negative 3x? Positive 12x equals 52. Thank you. Positive 32, you're right. Good catch. So now I got a whole bunch of junk going on over here. By the way, let me write distributive property of multiplication. That's what I just used. I just used it twice. Now what am I going to do? I need to get my x's together. How do I do that? Do I want to subtract 12? Am I trying to move it to the other side of the equal sign? I'm not trying to move it to the other side of the equal sign, am I? These two are both on the left side of the equal sign. So I'm not subtracting anything. I'm not using a property of equality. I am just combining like terms because they're on the same side. What's 16 and 12? 28 what? Okay. I have another set of like terms on this side, don't I? Don't I have 48 and 32? So what is 48 plus 32? 80? Positive 80 or negative 80? So I'm going to put plus 80 because it's a positive 80 equals 52. And it doesn't matter if I put the plus 80 there or on this side either. But now I should be pretty familiar with where I'm going from here. What do I do next? Subtract 80. I'm going to the other side of the equal sign, which means I'm using my subtraction property of equality. So 28x equals 52 minus 80, negative 28. I like that number because it's going to divide by 28 nicely, isn't it? So that's my division property of equality. And I get x equals what? Negative 1. So? Yes, ma'am.
If there's two parentheses, would you have to put down distributive property of multiplication twice or just once?
You can just list it here if you do both of those in the same step. You can just list it once. All right, 2 more problemos. Yes. Meaning what? You're going to need to be a little more specific as far as a whole different way. Did you use distributive property for both of these first?
Yes.
Okay. Then did you combine like terms?
Yes.
Did you combine your x's and your numbers in the same step, or did you do it in 2 different steps? That's fine. Okay. Did you still end up with 28x equals plus 80 equals 52 at some point? Then you're fine. Okay. Yeah, you can combine the like terms in 2 different steps. That's totally fine. Okay. All right, you try number 9. Just like number 8 that I just did. What's my first step going to be? Distribute. Do I distribute the 5? No, he's already in his own world on the other side of the equal sign. I'm going to distribute the negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Negative 7 times 6x, negative 42x. Do I keep distributing the negative 7? No, because there's now a negative 3 that I need to distribute. Do you see that? Negative 3 times x, and negative 3 times negative 4. That was my distributive property of multiplication. All right, what's going on next? Combine like terms because they're on the same side of the equal sign. Negative 42x and negative 3x. What's that? Negative 45, right? X. And what about negative 7 and positive 12? Positive 5. That was my combining like terms step. All right, now what? Now we're to the easy part. Subtract 5. So this was my SPO. So I have negative 45x equals 0, right? Now this is where people freak out because they're like, oh crap, there's a 0. What do I do? 0 is a number, just like 1 is a number, just like 10 is a number, just like 5 is a number. I can take 0 and I can still divide by negative 45. Using my depot. I just know that 0 divided by anything is what? So my answer is x equals 0. So? All right, last one is your challenge one. You ready? I'm okay with being crazy every now and then. So here we go. Still has two distributive properties, but what's different about it? They're on the opposite sides of the equal sign. So I'm going to go ahead and do negative 7 times 2, which is negative 14. Negative 7 times negative 2r, positive 14r. Do those two cancel out, negative 14 and positive 14? No, because one's a 14r and the other one doesn't have an r. They're not like terms. Do I distribute the negative 7 to the negative 6? Why not? It's not in the parentheses. So I still have to put the minus 6 because I haven't touched it yet. What am I distributing over here? Anybody? Just the negative 2. The negative 2r we're not touching yet. Just the number directly in front. What's negative 2 times negative 1? Positive 2. And negative 2 times 3r? Negative 6r. So this was the distributive property of multiplication. Now, do I have like terms on the same side of the equal sign? Yes. Let's combine those first. On the left side, what are my like terms? Negative 6 and negative 14. When I combine those, what do I get? Negative 14 plus negative 6 is negative 20. I have not yet touched the plus 14r, and he has no like terms, so he's just got to stay as is. On the right side, what are my like terms? Negative 2r and negative 6r. What do they get when I combine them? Negative 8r, and then the plus 2 I haven't touched. That was my combining like terms. You notice how I treated each side of the equal sign almost as if it was its own problem? The like terms over here don't have to be the same as the like terms over there because I'm not crossing over yet. Now I'm going to go and use my equality ones to move stuff. So if I need to get my r's together, do I want to move the 14r or the negative 8r? Which one? Negative 8r, what am I going to do with it? Add 8r. Okay, that's my addition property of equality. So let's see, negative 20 I haven't touched. What's 14r plus 8r? 22r. Over here, my 8r's cancel out, and I have positive 2. All right, now what do I do? Add 20. We're almost done. Can you see the end in sight? So 22r is equal to 22. Again, that was my addition property of equality. And my last step, divide by 22. And what does r equal? 1, because of the division property of equality. All that to get an answer of 1. Okay? All right, your homework's on Google Classroom. Happy studying.